You're looking at the ceiling, goes way, way back of the two-story lobby of the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, a very distinguished and fascinating place. And here I am chatting with Jan Wallner. And Jan, I believe you're in charge of public relations here, aren't you?
That's right.
Jan, when was the hotel built?
Hotel was built in 1926 and opened in 1927.
Oh, that's, well, we're talking about 60...
60 years.
Yes, some 60-odd years there. I think I know who it was named after, but there were several famous ones of the family. Whom was it named after?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, Teddy.
Right.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Hero of mine for many, many years. And the people who actually built it, Jan?
Well, it was built by a man called Charles Toberman, who was called the father of Hollywood, because he built the Hollywood Bowl, Grauman's Chinese Theater, the Egyptian Theater. So a lot of the landmarks in Hollywood were all built by the same man.
A very distinguished person.
Right. But the early owners of the hotel were Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, Sid Grauman, Louis B. Mayer.
These were the earliest what? Were owners?
The owners.
The actual
There was
owners.
a partnership. They formed a partnership called the Hollywood Holding Company. And some of the biggest names in films were the early owners of this.
Jan, what are some of the significant recollections of the past that just come into your mind?
Oh, God, there's so many. I mean, this hotel is nothing but Hollywood history. And it's a historic landmark. So the history of the hotel is just overwhelming. I mean, outside of the ownership of the hotel, it was a meeting place for everyone in Hollywood in the 20s. We have history of Shirley Temple learning her famous staircase dance on the stairway with Bill Bojangles Robinson teaching her. We have a celebrity suite, which is called the Gable Lombard Suite, where Carol Lombard and Clark Gable used to rendezvous. We have recollections of the Cinegrill, where Errol Flynn and Ernest Hemingway and Salvador Dali, they used to meet there. David Niven used to, started out his Hollywood career in this hotel.
What was the attraction of it, though, to bring so many celebrities here? Just the unique design, or?
It was the first luxury hotel in Hollywood.
Oh.
So, you know, when you think back 60 years ago, there wasn't very much on the street, and Hollywood was a very small community, so.
Well, the Beverly Hills was going then, though, wasn't it?
Yes, but Beverly Hills was
a long way
not
away.
Hollywood, and it wasn't developed, and it was pretty far off the beaten track at that time.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a list of celebrities you're coming off with here.
It's just a small, miniature amount.
Yeah. Tell us something. The word came out fleetingly from you there. Tell us something about the Cinegrill that I've heard about. Something more.
Oh, well, the Cinegrill is our entertainment room now, but as you know, we have a ballroom called the Blossom Room, which during that time was the center of Hollywood social life, and people gathered there all the time. And it was such a popular place that in the 30s they built the Cinegrill to carry the overflow. So it was probably the place to see and be seen in Hollywood at that time.
Didn't I hear or read or learn somehow that Marilyn Monroe came here a few days before she died?
Well, she came here frequently. The Cinegrill was a place where she used to meet a friend of hers here all the time, frequently. And yeah, just before she died, she was here, and she met him about a week, supposedly, before he died. And that's been documented. He's been here and told us about it, so.
Isn't there a story about Monroe on your diving board before she became famous?
Well, there's a couple of Monroe stories. We have a photograph of her as a model, and there's a picture of her on our diving board. She was doing a suntan ad for suntan lotion. There's also a mirror here that we call the Monroe Mirror because it used to be in the lobby, and supposedly every time she walked past, she would check herself out in the mirror. So.
Some checkout there. Tell us about the restoration.
Oh, the restoration.
When was it started, for an example? When completed, and the cost? A few little details.
Let's see. Well, the hotel closed for 2 years, from 84 to 86. It reopened in March of 86. There's been like a $40 million restoration to the hotel. And when I say restoration, I mean restoration. It wasn't redecorated or it's pretty much, it is back to the original way it was in the 20s. Everything in the lobby, the ceilings, they're all originals. The chandelier there is the original chandelier. So we have old photographs of it, which you probably will see.
That would be tempting for the Phantom of the Opera should he ever turn up here, right?
Oh, yeah.
That chandelier is magnificent.
There's a lot of ghosts here.
Magnificent, magnificent. David Hockney, the artist, and your swimming pool. There's a connection there, isn't there?
Yeah. We're very lucky, very fortunate. We have a swimming area out, you know, in the Cabana area that was built in the late 40s, probably early 50s. It takes you into a different era, the way it looks. And when you look at it, it looked like a David Hockney painting. And we always referred to it as our Hockney pool. And as luck would have it, I guess, the power of the spoken word, we met a man in the lobby one day called Henry Gelzeller, who is a curator of the New York Museum and was here doing work with David. We took him to the pool and said, "Look at our Hockney pool." And he said, "It does look like a Hockney pool." And he said, "Why don't you have David paint it?" And he is the one that sort of talked to David and negotiated it. And last year, David Hockney painted the inside of our pool with blue parentheses. So we have a real David Hockney pool, and the only pool in the world that you can swim in a Hockney painting.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I think that's just absolutely terrific. Now, you've already mentioned the Blossom Room, but didn't some momentous occasion take place there in 1929?
Sure did. The first Academy Awards were handed out at the first banquet. And
I thought it was 28 that they were handed up. I guess it was 29.
Well, they had awards for 28, but the first banquet ceremony was 29.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they handed out both of the awards that year. But Janet Gaynor won the year for
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
And I think Wings took it, didn't it?
Wings
for
was Best Picture.
The Last Command, I think, got it for... Or didn't Jannings?
Emil Jannings.
Yes, Emil Jannings. I think he got it for The Last Command, which I just saw recently. It's a wonderful old bit of Hollywood magic. Did the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences continue operating from here for any length of time or not? Just that one?
Yeah, well, since Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks and some of the same ownership were the founding members of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, our room called the Academy Room was their library for about a period of 5 or 6 years until they got headquarters.
You mentioned Niven, but isn't there a story about him living in a broom closet here, which strikes me as being outrageous?
Well, it was written in his book. So
I missed that.
He talked about when he was a young actor, undiscovered, and had no money. He had a friend who was a front desk clerk who gave him a small room in the servants' quarters. So he's part of the history, too.
That's going back to the 30s, I guess, isn't it, in his particular connection there. Now, not only stars stayed here, but politicians also, and I'm just wondering if you could name a few.
Well, Winston Churchill made a stop here. He was in the Senate Grill. Recently, we've been home to Jesse Jackson during his campaign. He's made it sort of his headquarters while he was campaigning. So...
People like that.
Well, yeah, there's a few.
I know Teddy would never have been here. Teddy Roosevelt. No,
I don't think he was here.
He wouldn't have been living then, I don't think. Now, you've got a gallery mezzanine. In fact, we're standing right here in the gallery mezzanine. And you've got a tremendous history of Hollywood display, plus really a kind of history of the world. I mean, it's momentous. Comment on that incredible display that runs all the way around all the walls up here. Yeah. And the second floor, really, of your lobby.
It's a quick walking tour. It takes Hollywood from the late 1800s up until 45, and then there's a whole thing on restaurants and nightclubs and talkies and early radio. But it's really shows you.
A shot of the Spirit of St. Louis, I guess. Or is it the Pride of St. Louis? Spirit of St. Louis. Yeah. The Lindbergh plane, I saw that. We're, I guess, coming to Hollywood for a visit, and he was greeted by 150,000.
There's a whole collection of photographs, newspaper articles, menus, just things that were part of memorabilia from a whole time span according to whatever year that's up there. But
I didn't know there was a TV station operating in 1931, so I'm learning here.
You'd learn a lot.
Well, Jan Wallner, thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And that, of course, was our mini-documentary filmed on the premises of the legendary Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel located in the heart of Hollywood. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed meeting Jan Wallner, the PR lady, and the the whole documentary. It was fun doing it. And, well, it was part of our evening, wasn't it? The evening devoted to the theme, Nostalgic Hollywood. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we wrap up another session here on the Saturday Night at the Movies. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been an evening of nostalgia. I've certainly enjoyed it. See you again next week, same time, same channel, for another session right here. Bye for now.